everybody, welcome back to our fourth book review on this YouTube channel. Today we are going to be reviewing Beach Read by Emily Henry. I finished this book yesterday, so let's talk about it. Also, thank you guys so much for all the love on our first book review, which was the Outsiders book review. That video now has 300 views, and I'm pretty happy with that for a full-length video. The watch time isn't great, but I'll take the views. But yeah, that's good enough for me. Also, the Happy Place one that came out a week ago is also doing pretty well. So thank you guys so much for being interested in the book reviews. All right, let's get right into it. Here is my copy of Beach Read. This is the Book of the Month edition. It's like a really long hardcover, longer than like even the first edition would be by a little bit. So let's get right into it. As always, we're going to be doing the same segments as we've been doing for the past 3 reviews. Again, if you don't like one of the segments, then you can comment down below a different suggestion for it. Yeah, just like whatever you think would be best. Obviously, if I disagree, I'm not going to do it, but if you think of something good, I'll totally do it. Alright, so we're going to start off by first reading the synopsis. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens A Happily Ever After, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book, and no one will fall in love. Really. Spoiler alert, they fall in love, because it's a romance book. Literally obsessed with Emily Henry right now. Like, it was set up in my reading pile. If you want to know more about what I mean when I say pile, comment down below and I'll do that. But like, I read Book Lovers, and then I read A Happy Place, and then I read Beach Read, and oh my god, I am obsessed with her. She is definitely a new favorite author for me. 100%. Eventually, once I read like all of them, which will be in like several years, because oh my god, my pile, I probably need to do a video explaining my pile. Anyways, I love her, and I highly recommend Emily Henry as an author. So if you haven't yet, go read something by her, please. I beg of you. And again, if you want me to do a review of Book Lovers, since I haven't done that yet, then you can go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I will. But I only will if somebody comments something, because nobody comments anything. Cricket is like screaming its head off outside or something. I don't know what's buzzing. If you hear it, I'm sorry. Maybe it's just in my head and I'm going crazy. I don't know. Okay, so next, since we already read the synopsis, we're going to get into my Goodreads review of the book. So I rated it 5 stars, and it says, I love everything Emily Henry writes, and I loved both January's and Gus's backgrounds. So both Augustus and January had a lot of family issues in their backgrounds, which I feel like is not discussed enough in books. Even though it's discussed a lot, it's still not enough. It will never be enough. So I just really appreciate like the different family dynamics that were happening in both of their lives, and how neither of them were incredibly positive, but they worked, and they both had loved ones that they talked about, and I just really appreciated that. For the book length, my Book of the Month copy is 358 pages, which is a perfect length for a romance book, again, from Emily Henry. They're not too long. They're perfect for a vacation, which is where I read most of this. They're just the perfect length. They're really sweet. They're great. Chapters were anywhere from like 1 sentence to 10 pages, and that was mostly the extent of it, which I love the chapter length that Emily Henry writes. Chapters, for me, if they're any longer than 10 pages, I'm going to struggle to get through them. It's just a fact. I need short chapters. I need them. They're important to me, and they really reflect my experience of the book. That doesn't mean that I don't like books that have long chapters. Like, but if a book has super, super long chapters, like I'm talking 30 to 50 pages in a romance book, I'm not gonna like it. As for my favorite character, there weren't really many characters besides January and Gus, which I appreciated because it really focused on the romance plot, which is kind of the point because it's a romance. But a lot of romances, they try to focus on this other plot and with all these bajillion different characters. I'm like, I don't care. I came here for the romance because this is listed as a romance. Why aren't you romancing with the romance? Anyway, my favorite character was January. Even though I think that the name is a little bit odd. I would never personally name my child January, but you know, whatever you want, I guess. There's nothing wrong with it. I just like out of all the months, like we could have done like April or August. I mean Augustus, but like you know, we've done May. You know, but we chose January. It's interesting. I know it's not as bad as October would have been, but it's fine. It's fine. I just think it's a little strange, just a tiny bit. I'm not judging you if your name is January. My least favorite character, Sonia. This is January's father's mistress. And I get that like she explains her story at the end, but like I don't appreciate you know that whole cheating situation. So we're talking about family dynamics. I appreciate the different family dynamics. Is it hard to read about? A little bit. Just any time the mistress was mentioned, I was just like, no, get away from me, leave. Ew. Yucky. Yucky, yucky, yucky. Get away. Don't talk to January. Like, don't talk to her. I despise her existence. Whether I recommend the book or not, yes. Yes. 1000% yes. I highly recommend both Beach Read, Book Lovers, and Happy Place. All three of those Emily Henry books, they're the only ones I've read, so I can't speak for her other books. I mean, I assume that I'll also love those, but so far from the three that I've read, I recommend every single one of them a whole lot. I love every single one that I've read so far. I have not thought about this a whole ton in the past day since I finished it, but I can totally see myself thinking about this book, like, in the future. So, yeah, I'd say that I'm going to think about it a lot in my daily life. And I really, really, really love this romance. I highly recommend it. So if you have not read it, I think that you should as soon as possible. And let me know your thoughts. You can also follow me on Goodreads. The link is in the description, as always. And once I reach 500 subscribers, we're going to start a Goodreads community. So if you want to see that, then you can subscribe. However, I do recognize that 500 subscribers is a quite far away subscriber goal. However, if you do want to get me to do something interesting, when we reach 250 subscribers, I will do a 7 books in 7 days challenge. So it's a book a day for a week. I'll do a vlog on that, and I just think it'd be a really fun video. So if you want to see that, help me get to 250 subscribers. All right, you guys, that is it for today's book review. Comment what books you want me to review, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.